Good evening and welcome. My name is David Rosen, and I am the Senior Cantor and Music Director of Holy Blossom Temple. Tonight, the Center for Arts and Culture at Holy Blossom is thrilled to partner with the Joan Beckow Legacy Project as we present this wonderful evening of music celebrating the life and legacy of the late Joan Beckow. For decades, our congregation has supported and promoted the development of new liturgical and secular works, and we are grateful for your support this evening as we hear some glorious music, and I know that this music will endure l'dor v'dor from generation to generation. If you are new to this beautiful building, I hope that you will not be a stranger and come and see what our Kehila Kadosha, our sacred community, has to offer. I would like to take a brief moment to thank our tech crew tonight, our facility staff, our Director of Communications, Deanna Levy, and the one and only Ira Spitz for helping to make tonight a reality. I encourage all of you now to sit back, relax, and enjoy the beautiful sounds of Joan's brilliance, which will resonate tonight through her music, an eternal gift for our souls.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Katie Morley, your MC for tonight's Joan Beckow Legacy Project album release here at the Mishkan of Toronto's Holy Blossom Temple. Welcome, everyone. We wish to recognize the support of the Canada Council for the Arts, David Beckow, the Ontario Arts Council, and many others who have supported this project in a personal way. Who is Joan Beckow? You might have just learned her name, but it's no stretch to say that Bernstein, Sondheim, and Beckow comfortably belong in the same sentence. You see, not all remarkable creators get the spotlight they deserve during their lifetime. And the Joan Beckow Legacy Project exists to highlight and spread the musical works of a brilliant, prolific, and totally under-celebrated composer, Joan Beckow, who passed away at age 88 in Vancouver early last year. In late 2021 and early 2022, 30 hand-picked musicians on opposite sides of Canada got together to make the first ever professional recording of Joan Beckow's music. This double album and tonight's performance will finally provide that well-deserved spotlight, and you all will be a part of the special celebration. I am pleased to now welcome our first soloist, Jessica Stewart, who is director, producer, co-music producer, and vocalist of the Joan Beckow Legacy Project. Almost 50 years ago and 5,000 kilometers away in the auditorium of the Vancouver JCC, Joan Beckow and Wendy Bross Stewart were playing the overture to Joan's musical Seven at a Blow, the famous story about the brave little tailor. Then the prologue began.
Once there was a tailor who traveled from place to place, an ordinary tailor of ribbons and ruffles and lace, and wherever he'd go, he'd sow contentment into every sleeve, and in every seam a tailor's dream would be found there, bound there. Homsey. Once this very tailor just happened to pass this way. This ordinary tailor on this not unusual day simply knocked on a door as often before, but listen to how and why this ordinary tailor became an extraordinary kind of guy.
We'd now like to take a moment to introduce the instrumentalists of the project. On cello, Beth Silver. On violin, we have Aline Homsey. And doubling on violin and viola is Andrew Chung. And last but certainly not least is the other half of a mother-daughter music direction duo and the hands of the project, Wendy Bross-Stewart. Now, please welcome Cantor David Rosen of Holy Blossom Temple to sing one of Joan's liturgical works, Open Unto Us.
Open unto us, open unto us, O God, open unto us the gates of mercy. Before the closing of thy gates, ere the day is done, before the day is done. The day vanishes, the sun is setting, let us enter, enter thy gates. Open unto us, open unto us, O God, open unto us the gates of mercy. Before the closing of thy gates, ere the day is done, before the day is done. The day vanishes, the sun is setting, let us enter, enter thy gates.
Joan's musical output has included many sacred choral pieces, such as the next song, May the Words. Our vocalists will be Jocelyn Barth, Whitney Ross Barris, and Jessica Stewart. May the Words.
May the words of my mouth meditations of my heart be acceptable, acceptable unto thee. Oh, Lord, the meditations of my heart be acceptable, acceptable unto Blessed Lord, may this song full of praises that I sing to thee be acceptable, acceptable in thy sight. Oh, blessed words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart to hear acceptable unto thee. Listen to gracious Lord, guard my tongue from evil, all evil, my lips from speaking guile. Purify my heart from malice, give me shelter from pride. Teach me how to reflect on the journey of my soul to my spirit sing clear to me this struggle to find you in all I may do. Blessed Lord, may this song full of praises that I sing to thee be acceptable, acceptable in thy sight. Oh, Lord, may this song full of praises that I sing to thee be acceptable, acceptable unto thee. Listen, Lord, to the words of my mouth and my
Now it is our great pleasure to welcome Joan's son, David Beckow, to the stage. David is here all the way from Vancouver and will offer some words about his mother.
Good evening. I see some familiar faces here, and I see some old friends. And I also see a number of folks who are new. And so for the benefit of the new people, my name's David Beckow, and I'm Joan's son. And when my mom died in January of 2021, right at sort of the height of COVID, there really wasn't much of an opportunity for a funeral, certainly no Shiva, and really not an opportunity to get together and remember her. And so it feels good to have everybody here doing this tonight. So thank you. Thanks for coming. The film we're about to watch asks a central question: who is Joan Beckow, and why don't more people know about her work? Now, I'm not going to preempt the film too much beyond suggesting that watching this effort come together over the course of the last year has served to both deepen my appreciation for the person my mom was, and also for her amazing talent. we were close, and I miss her. And her music was something that was really sort of around us all the time growing up. I think to the extent that I almost took it for granted. And so that's why it's a real delight to see a whole new generation of really capable creators that are taking inspiration from and building on her work, and most certainly not taking any of it for granted. So I recognize most of the time that this stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum, and it's usually your community that allows you to develop the way you do, and certainly this applies to my mom. For several decades, her collaboration and friendship with Wendy Stewart and her family in the production of a lot of this music was a real delight and allowed her to develop in many ways. Her involvement with Temple Shalom in Vancouver, which is the Reformed Synagogue in Vancouver, was something her and my father and a number of families founded in the 60s. And for a long time, there was no physical plan. It just happened in our basement for a long time. And so that was the place we saw a lot of this growth, and that really nourished her and really formed a part of who she was. Finally, in her later years, she was living in a home, a place called Louis Brier, which is the Jewish care home that was central to a lot of it, where they took amazing care of her to the end of her life and kept her active. And that, again, that made a difference. Right at the end, because she was quite active and right to the end of her life. What else? As for myself, all I can try and do is express my profound gratitude to the Stewarts for championing her work. Not just this year, but through the years. So thank you. And then finally, I want to thank my mom for not only being an amazing parent to my sister and I, which would have been enough, Dianu, but also for sharing her amazing, remarkable light with so many of us for so long. And so, Mom, you did good. We love you. We miss you. And so without further ado, I present Unsung, the Joan Beckow story.
Well, welcome back, everyone. Join me in welcoming Whitney Ross Barris back to the stage. Yeah. Whitney has actually been called Toronto's Carol Burnett. Yeah. And incidentally, the next Beckow piece was premiered in the late 50s by Carol Burnett in New York, accompanied by the composer herself. This is Pretending.
Every time I see that the sky above is gray, I make believe the clouds have gone away. And oh, so often I pretend to be a someone who is not at all like me. So if I should choose to be a pirate on a cruise, or a soldier who is battling with the foe, I can be it, I can see it, 'cause I know that I only have to make believe it's so. I'm always pretending, each day passing by finds me spending a fine afternoon flying up to the moon in an orange and green balloon. I'm only pretending, but often you'll find me befriending a wee little elf who has injured himself in a fall from my cupboard shelf. I climb on top of a haystack, and in just the wink of an eye, discover I'm climbing on to the back of a bright golden butterfly. I'm
Next, we have Cantor David Rosen singing another beautiful liturgical piece, Psalm 8.
Lord, how majestic is thy presence. How majestic is thy presence in all of the earth, my sovereign Lord, bringing glory to the heavens, perfect glory to the heavens, unmeasured its worth. I tremble in wonder, tremble in awe at the splendor I see before me. How sweet is the moon as it fills the night with gold and beckons my soul. What are we that you are mindful of us? What are we that you should love us and cherish us so? My sovereign Lord, you have showered us with honor. In your tenderness you made us just less than divine. We long for the wisdom, goodness, and grace to be worthy of all thy blessings. In mercy may we grow strong. Hear this prayer, O Lord, receive with favor our song. Lord, Lord, my sovereign Lord, what are we that you are mindful of us?
The next song, with music by Joan and poetry by A.E. Houseman, is Loveliest of Trees, sung by Jocelyn Barth.
Loveliest of trees, the cherry knob is hung with blooms along the bough and stands about the woodland ride, wearing white for Eastertide. Now of my 80 years and 20 will not come again, and take from 70 springs a song. It only leaves me 50 more. And since to look at things in bloom, 50 springs are
with lyrics by Dorothy Parker, set to music by Joan Beckow. This is One Perfect Rose.
A single flower he sent me since we met. How tenderly his messenger he chose. Deep-hearted are with scented you still wet. One perfect rose, one perfect I knew the language of the floweret. My fragile leaves, it said his heart enclosed. Love long has love taken for his amulet. One perfect rose, one perfect Why is it no one ever sent me yet?
Why has no one sent me yet?
One perfect limousine. Do you suppose in every dream I dream a limousine, a limo, limo, limo? Oh no, it's always just my luck to get. My luck to get one perfect rose. How lucky can you get? One perfect rose. One rose.
We are so pleased to be here making music in the Mishkan. Such a beautiful space, don't you think? Mishkan comes from the Hebrew root meaning dwell, and appropriately, the next piece is Beckow's Dwelling Places. We now invite the temple singers of Holy Blossom to stand for the performance of Dwelling Places, featuring the choir's own Denise Gordon.
How lovely are thy dwelling places, O Lord. Better is a day in thy courts than 1,000 elsewhere. Happy are they who dwell in thy house. They are continually praising thee. Incline thine ear and answer us. Be gracious unto us, O God, and cause us to rejoice. For unto thee we lift up our soul. Elsewhere, happy are they who dwell in thy house. They are continually praising thee. Incline thine ear and answer us. Be gracious unto us, O rejoice, for unto thee we lift up our souls. How lovely are thy dwelling places.
Now I would like to invite Jessica Stewart back to the stage along with her inspiration, collaborator and mother, Wendy Bross Stewart, for How Goodly Are Thy Tents.
How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob. How goodly are thy dwellings, O Israel. Through thy great mercy, O Lord, I come to thy house and bow down in thy holy temple to worship thee. Oh Lord, I love the place where thou dwellest, and I bow down to adore thee, my Maker. May my prayer be answered in an acceptable time, and mayest thou in the greatness of thy mercy, mayest thou in the greatness of thy mercy answer me according to thy faithfulness. The nice thing about an evening with a couple technical things is that when you slap the mic stand down and make a big thump, it seems very inconsequential, doesn't it? Anyway, as we're nearing the end of the program, I just wanted to say a few words. The last year and a half of my life I've been living and breathing Joan Beckow, and if you don't believe me, you can ask my partner over there, because he'll tell you after the show's over. But, you know, our history with Joan goes back so far, and even that song, How Goodly Are Thy Tents, was one that Joan composed for my mother, myself, and my older sister Fiona to perform at our Benot Mitzvah. Yes, we had a shared Benot Mitzvah. Yes, I was 11 and a half, my sister was 14. She had been in Japan when she was 13, so that didn't work. She wasn't allowed to have a bat mitzvah. Her rabbi told her no, and then for the rest of her life, she thought it was a test that she failed. Is that not true? So we did a Benot Mitzvah together, and that was a part of it. But to be able to collaborate with my mother in this way to honor our dear friend and our musical mentor's work, to be able to share it with her family and also with her community has been a career highlight for both of us, and also a highlight of our relationship as adults. And that's something very special that we didn't even know that Joan left us. And now to finally see the rest of the world catching up is really quite a treat. To hear the words Joan Beckow come off the lips of CBC radio hosts, both in English and French, mind you, and see her name in print and in the papers and on the CJN and everywhere. It's kind of a dream come true. And we appreciate... And in Mexico. Oh, they want to translate her words. The Mexican radio host that I interviewed with wants to spearhead the translation of Joan Beckow works for the Jewish community in Mexico. Wow. So, yes. So many amazing things. And we appreciate so much you being here to share all this with us. So anyway, the final piece of the program is upon us. I will relieve you since you have to accompany everyone. And I would like to invite David Beckow up to the stage to join us in singing, and all of the performers who have performed tonight to stand up so that together we can sing Ose Shalom, which is a prayer for peace. If anyone here knows the lyrics, this is her most well-known work. If anyone knows the melody, please feel free to sing along from your seats. With no further ado, this is Ose Shalom.
Shalom,
And a round of applause for Katie Morley, emceeing the night.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being part of this celebration of Joan Beckow. We invite you to stop by the table outside the Mishkan and say hello to Jessica and Wendy and Ron and David, and to sign the guest book if you haven't already. And of course, the Joan Beckow Legacy Project double disc set, complete with a 20-page booklet, which I happen to have designed. No biggie. It's available at the table outside the Mishkan so that you can continue to be inspired by Joan Beckow and her music. Thank you so much, and good night.